a twinkle in the middle is your kind of neutral, okay? And we also have what's called a block. If there's a proposal that you cannot live with, that stands in opposition to everything that you stand for and is morally wrong to you, you can block it. This should be used very infrequently because it will halt the forward movement of something, but we can certainly revise it. So there's that. We sometimes will do a temperature check where we do thumbs up, thumbs across, and thumbs down, although I've noticed we interchange and we just do twinkles for everything. So I think it's okay, so we'll probably just be doing twinkles up, down, so we don't have too many signals. We have a regular agenda, and can somebody remind me, do we have a visioning question for today?
I think we should skip it.
Oh, right, the 2-hour visioning question? Awesome. So, fill roles. So first of all, my name is Katya. I'm the facilitator. Since I sometimes take notes, I cannot take notes. I need somebody to please take notes. Thank you. Who do we got? I got a notepad if you need it. I got a pen. Oh, man. Awesome. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Erica.
Erica. Thank you so much, Erica. Greeters. The role of greeter is to connect with people who are walking out back there, because otherwise we're all facing this way and they're like, what are you doing there? So is there anybody who can step up and at least share greeter roles? It means you just keep an eye out on who's coming in. For example, the folks in the back, hello, welcome. We're having an Occupy Chapel Hill General Assembly. Feel free to join us for as long as you want. My name is Katya. And that could be the greeter, but yeah, is it me?
I told you.
Yeah, Gal? Okay. Yep. So you can spell Gal. So Gal will be greeter for the first part, and then Evan can come up later. What are other roles? Timekeeper. Somebody to keep time so that when I say we have X amount of time for something, we try not to go over. So Andrew is keeping time. Okay, Stack. Somebody to help me keep track of when somebody raises their hand and wants to speak next. Or did you want Sonia or is Becca? Okay. All right, we got Becca is going to be on Stack. So let's see. Review previous GA's minutes. I opened up my laptop and I just need to start it unless somebody else has them ready. But we have a few tabled items from yesterday. So let's see.
I want to thank the people, the friends that I've met here, the friends that I will continue to have here. I have one other very quick thing to say, which is that a secondary reason I'm here is that there is, in my opinion, a disaffection and alienation across this country, whether on the left, whether on the right, whether it's the Tea Party or whether it's Occupy. Our leaders are not responsive. Our institutions, our businesses are not responsive. Democrats have a president they don't like. The Republicans have an apparent nominee that they openly despise. We intend to make them responsive. We intend to see that they do their job. Again, thank you. Thank you for the friendship.
My 10-year-old daughter has a children's book on the Iroquois Confederacy, and in it, the principle of unity is shown as a bundle of arrows that cannot be broken when one arrow can be easily broken. When I visited Occupy Wall Street in Zuccotti Park at the beginning of October, I saw a bundle of arrows, an innovative and invigorated movement of people of all races, classes, and political ideologies. I returned home to find Occupy Chapel Hill underway with similar diversity. I've lived here for more than 20 years, and it was exciting to meet new people as we left our homes, offices, and comfort zones to join together in general assemblies and in actions here at Peace and Justice Plaza. I've made many amazing connections through this encampment, but just as one person is one arrow, this encampment was just one arrow. Occupy Chapel Hill Carrboro is not only too big to fail, it's too big for this postage stamp of concrete allotted for public discourse in front of the town post office. We have already Occupy across the street, down the street, and into the middle of the streets. And I am happy to announce that we're continuing to do that. Part of Occupy 2.0 is Nomadic Occupy, a roving encampment that will reach further into our community. We will build more alliances, stronger alliances, and make new connections as we challenge injustice together. Occupy, mic check. Occupy is not going away.
Occupy is not going away.
Occupy is going everywhere.
Occupy is going everywhere. Occupy everything.
Occupy
Everything.
Occupy
Everything.
Occupy
Everything.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Many thanks to our four speakers. We are everyday people. We get stronger when you join us. Occupy is about everyday people, okay? We're not hierarchical. We're not vertical in structure. Your 2 cents matters, okay? Step up, join us. We need you. Touch it.
So we could just end on Maria's, and I'm okay with that, but I did want to open it up to any questions, since this is a press conference and usually people do questions and answers. We've agreed as a group that if there are questions, we're just going to encourage occupiers just come up. So somebody from the media has a question, and then somebody who I'll do stack if somebody wants to just raise hands with answers. But does anybody from the media have any questions for us? Because here we are.
What percentage of the voters do you think you can get to vote for a third party that's not status quo? What would the goal be?
So the question was, what percentage of voters do we think we can get to vote for a third party, or
That's
what
not,
would the goal
that's
be?
not representing the status quo.
That's not representing the status quo.
Right, so libertarian doesn't count.
Libertarian doesn't count. So anybody from Occupy want to come on up? Call? Great, the system works.
So one of the things about Occupy and a lot of leaderless movements that have been peopling our streets for a lot longer than some of us acknowledge, is that we're not really trying to affect the electoral system directly. Many of us do vote, and many of us are interested in getting the terrain of possible candidates widened, but as a movement and as a space, we don't really emphasize the electoral vein, because in fact, one of the interesting things I think is Occupy has maintained its power because it is not trying to speak to those in power. It is trying to create its own power, and it recognizes that the minute we try to sort of get concessions or get, some candidate to be our candidate, we're gonna, they're gonna do something that disappoints, and we're gonna lose the power. So I would just say that I have no idea how many people we can get to vote, but I know we can get a lot of people in the streets to change the discourse and maybe force candidates to address the real issues, which they don't.
So the way the open mic would work is that we'll just have anybody who wants to come up and just say whatever you want to say. We'd like you to try to do maybe 3 minutes or less than 5 minutes, probably quite a bit less than that, maybe 3 minutes. But I mean, this is your opportunity. We've heard people say that you're concerned about, GAs not having enough opportunity to speak and speak out. View this as your opportunity to publicly speak out.
We have all the people that have stayed up doing night watch, keeping the people here sleeping in the tents safe, all the people that have slept here, all the people that have participated in our general assemblies, all the people that have brought food, donated food. We've had numerous businesses that have helped us out, and we've got so many people to thank. I could not even begin to name them all. They've made our working groups function, that have kept us from killing each other, and for that I'm very grateful. we wouldn't be here without them.
Yes.
My name is Lila.
Hi, Lila.
I'm 55 years old. I have a college degree in nursing. I've been a nurse for 25 years. In spite of that, I found myself homeless up until 2 weeks ago, thanks to a good friend that I met here. I would be sleeping under this portico tonight. I occupy because there are 3.5 million homeless people in this country. 1.6 million of those are children. Homelessness has changed in our country. It's shameful. We can do so much better. We have to do better. That's why I occupy.
Hi, my name's Becca. I have 2 teenage boys. I'm 35 years old and I work a full-time job. I just wanted to say that Occupy for me has been an amazing growth experience for me. It's basically the first thing that I've done for myself outside of the home, outside of taking care of my boys and outside of working. And I really have enjoyed meeting all these people and getting to know people that I would have never met in my life before. And I know this isn't the end, and I know we're gonna keep going, and I hope everyone keeps coming back, because if we don't keep going, I'm gonna miss you guys so much. So you better come back. We better keep going, because this is so important. This is so important for us to keep going. And we've done such good work. And we are so amazing by everything that we have done. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys, because you've changed me. You've changed my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. My name is Jeremy Gilchrist, and I'm here with from Occupy Raleigh. And I actually did spend a few nights here as well at the beginning, and I personally encountered some of the issues with people coming out and where I was pushed into a tent and whatever. But anyway, I want to get past that. But every city has to make the decisions that are best for them, and I just want to say that I support Occupy Chapel Hill in solidarity what they've decided to do here today. I know it's not an easy decision for everybody. I know some people may not have been on board with taking the camp down at first, but in the end, like I said, they must, I assume you guys reached a consensus to do so. And we fully, from Occupy Raleigh, we look forward to phase 2, and we look forward to continuing our solidarity with you. That includes the January 20th Occupy the Courts. You will see some of us, of course, with you. You guys are always welcome at Occupy Raleigh to visit and stay if you would like to, because that same weekend, on the 21st and the 22nd, we have major actions planned. On the 21st, Drum Out Citizens United, and on the 22nd, a major downtown march leaving from the state capitol at 1 o'clock. So we can turn that into a major action for all the regional occupies. I think that would be great in solidarity. So like they said, the energy, I think, into actions. I'm sorry. So I think we can pool our energy and continue major direct actions and actually affecting the change that we want to if we work together. And I think that needs to be something all regional occupies and beyond need to keep doing. So again, I support you guys going forward. I know it isn't easy, but we're with you.
Hi, my name is Gal. I'm from Israel. I live in Germany, so I'm kind of all over the place. And I just wanted to make a little note, let's say on behalf of the international movement, self-appointed, of course. Just to remind you all that you're not alone here occupying Chapel Hill. You're not even alone here occupying A lot of cities in America, this is a worldwide movement. People are occupying. It started with the Arabian Spring. It went on to Spain, Greece, Portugal, Israel, and then finally it reached here. Just about the same time as I came here, which was lucky for me because I got to take part of this awesome movement in the country that still controls a lot of the world's economy and politics. And I'm very glad that I had this chance to affect the economy and politics of this country by being part of Occupy Chapel Hill, as we all did. And I would like to just thank everyone for this opportunity, and also to remind everyone that this struggle is going to go on in other places, like in Spain and Israel that I have a special contact to, obviously. The tents were torn down, sometimes peacefully, sometimes violently, but the movement didn't stop just because the tents weren't there. And our movement is also not going to stop. On the contrary, we're going to have more energies for further actions, and we're going to meet here every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 and every Sunday at 3:30. So please come to our GAs, join our actions, and let's keep the fire burning.
Hi, my name's Ilana, and I live up in New York City, and I've been really involved in the Occupy Wall Street movement up there. So just want to say solidarity from New York, and it's really cool to see what you have going on here. I guess I can attest firsthand to that the movement doesn't end when the tents are taken down. So I'm excited to see what happens from here, and just really want to reflect on how cool it is that the movement, in the very least, has been teaching so many people around the entire world these common tools in consensus decision making and just different things like what a people's mic is, what an open mic is, and just like learning how to listen to one another and work together. And I just want to reflect on how awesome that is and how much that kind of is one outcome in itself. So I look forward to hopefully meeting more of you here and wish you all the best.
Hi, I'm Will. Hey, Will. Had an outstanding time. I'm going to hold it down, try to paint the rails and make sure everything gets cleaned up good around here. And after that, I really don't know what I'm going to do, but I do appreciate the experience. It wasn't at all what I expected, and I hope y'all continue to stand behind yourself, for yourself, and with yourself. No fear. No fear.
On the subject of no fear, who was here the first night that we occupied this place? A few people, right? Do you remember the first meeting at which it was decided that we would occupy this place? There was a lot of doubt, a lot of concern. None of us knew what it would look like to have an occupation here. We did not have a permit. We had not talked to the authorities. We didn't know if it was possible. The only precedent we could come up with was from the 1960s, you know? And when the question came up in the General Assembly whether people would stay here, at first it was an abstract question. People said, oh, that's not possible, or maybe we should meet more, or maybe we should talk about it. And a few people said, no, I'm going to stay here tonight. And it was their courage that made it possible for everybody else to imagine that this could really happen. You know? That night, I came here a little late, and we were sitting down to talk about what the occupation would look like, what would happen, you know. And I remember a person that I'd never met before sitting next to me, and the question comes up, what will we do if the police come? And she says, you know, she's about my age, you know, it looks like a conservative person. She says, well, I'm not leaving, you know. And it was that courage, just coming from people who hadn't met each other before, taking that leap of faith to believe in each other that made this possible, I think, you know. I want to say, people are talking about this like it's the end. For me, these struggles have been going on for years, for decades, in this town that I grew up in. And really, you know, this is the middle of winter, actually. It's funny that there are so many people gathered here right now. 2012 is going to be a huge year. There's going to be so much happening this year. Not just an election either, you know. You can vote it takes an hour once a year, once every few years, right? But all of the time, we can use our power to make the world that we want to live in, to create that at every moment. And that's why this has worked. Harry earlier said, we need you for Occupy Chapel Hill. The fact is we need each other. Because in a world in which we are disconnected from each other, in which we are alienated from ourselves and from our own potential as a community, we can only realize that by organizing together, by acting together, by taking that leap of courageous faith that I mentioned, which has happened over and over throughout the process of Occupy Chapel Hill and is definitely going to continue to happen. 2012 is going to be a big year. Thank you for being with us.
My name is Katie. Hi, Katie. And I actually haven't really been involved with Occupy Chapel Hill. But the reason I want to come up here and say something is that there's a lot more sadness in some of the folks talking here than I was anticipating, because I came feeling like I was invited to a party. And if you have any doubt at all that the impact of Occupy extends beyond the encampment and beyond the plaza, Occupy has meant so much to me in the last few months, so much, and it's changed the way that I talk about politics and the way that I imagine the rest of my life, and the way I imagined what this country and this world can be and what it can do, and the way I talk about it with anyone, the way I talk about it with my grandparents or my friends. It's things that were not, you couldn't say, you can say. So I'm here to party.
Hi guys, my name is Tate. I just wanted to call out to the student in me and any students on the street and any students in that school. I've been attending UNC Chapel Hill for the last 6-7 months, and I would like to say that is only one half of the education. I think maybe even less than half. Much less than half. And I think that being in this Occupy for the time that I was able to spend and the time that I was able to make, and I know compared to other people or compared to how I wanted to spend my time, it wasn't as much as I would have liked. But I know that I grew more than I did in my Econ 101 class. And I would just like to say that I think I would really like to see more students here, because I think this is part of life. This is part of growing up. This is part of becoming the person who you want to be. And after spending time in New York and after spending time here, I know I want to be an activist when I grow up. I want to keep doing stuff like this. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, Occupy, to everyone who's been so amazing. I don't know if those of you who haven't been here all the time have a sense of what an amazing community that sometimes isn't physically here. It might be virtual, it might just be sending over coffee, but it's been created over just a couple of months, and I feel really excited that this can go on and this can become the bigger thing that we all long for it to be. A different world, as Luis just talked about, in which economic justice is linked to all the other kinds of justice for race and gender and sexuality and freedoms for all. Woo! And I also wanted to just tell you something that a friend said when she heard that Zuccotti Park had been cleared. And she said, for the first time I wondered, what are all those people going to do? Where are they going to go to sleep? And then she caught herself and said, why am I not thinking that every single day? Yes. We know, as we've already said today, that there are millions of people who don't have homes in this country that has more money than any empire has ever had in the history of the world. And yet our people are hungry, our people are homeless. Why is it that only when an occupation brings that home that we can remember? And it's because that's what it takes to remember. Even as we might know, we know the statistics, we know it's there. It takes us being there reminding each other of how important it is to fight back, to make a change, be the change that we want to see. So I just want to thank you all again, and hasta la victoria siempre, pues!
Hi, my name is Steve Deere. I don't really deserve to have the mic, but thanks to the open mic opportunity. I say that because I only came to about, I don't know, half a dozen general assemblies and things, and but I wanted to say this. I haven't heard anybody, I don't think, say this. From day one, and I've had the privilege of working as an activist in one way or another, or organizer for 30 years, and I have never seen such attention to process and inclusion like I saw here at Occupy Chapel Hill Carrboro. And you know, if you're involved in coalitions and political coalitions for any length of time, it's that kind of thing: process, transparency, inclusion, taking the time to do the work up front before you get, you know, in the decision making, that is incredibly important and saves perhaps years of struggle and effort. And I just was, you know, at the first General Assembly after the raid here, it took about half an hour, I think, to decide how to decide something. And that could sound like a joke, but it was fine. It was great. It probably saved weeks or months or just never getting anywhere. And it was that kind of thing that just so impressed me. And it's easy, you know, you might be thinking, if you're one of the core people, yeah, I lived through it all. It's easy for you to say, I know, but I'm just saying I just noticed it, how impressive it was. And I thank you for the example, because you set a higher bar and standard for being an activist in our country. So thank you.
I just wanted to say one more thing in the spirit of celebration, or maybe just a way to think about the fact that Occupy is the word of the year. Because I've been really impressed by how quickly people get fed up and are saying, oh, they're done with, or like, when are we going to get an answer from them? And it's pretty interesting, given the fact that I don't know how many months it's taken the legislature to not come up with a solution to the financial crisis. You know, it's when what we are occupying is the space to really think about how to remake our system again. And I think that every time someone tells you, oh, well, I don't really, you know, they don't really have an agenda, I mean, I would just point them to the fact that since October 15th, this has become a place where any action has resonance, right? When someone thought of the idea about transferring money from banks, they put it out there and it reverberated. And there were people with which to reverberate. This is a space. This is a space where things can happen for the first time in a long time. And I think the minute we fight against the individualization and the atomization and the fact that we all just like rush from our work to our home, to our malls, to our cars, and we start just sitting and talking and thinking of these ideas, which range from transferring our money and growing gardens that can feed the community, we are really coming up with the solutions that are durable and are going to last. But that's going to take a long time, because this system has been here for hundreds of years. This system, this economic and political system. So I just want to say that I am super excited, and I do think that we are doing something that is really meaningful and powerful. And I just thank you all for being here.
My name's Mark. Hi. Mark says that capitalist societies are completely set up on these inversions, that capitalism is always going to privilege dead things like money or houses over living people, people who are actually doing the work, people who are living in societies. And just this example of this monstrous inversion between this future, if the US or if the world has a future, it's only going to grow from places like this. Yet our society thinks that the future can only grow from these dead, hideous, dead institutions that exist right there on the other side of the street. We all know that's wrong, that the future, any future that we manage to grasp, is going to come from here, and it's not going to come from these dead institutions, filled with dead people, with dead ideas, who claim that, in some sense, who claim a privilege over us who are trying to struggle for life and justice. That's all I want to say, but to the people, to the 15-year-olds and everybody else who said more articulately and more beautifully and more passionately what I could have said. I just want to say thanks, and I've learned so much from all of you, and it's been such a great experience.
Hi, y'all. My name is Monica, and I wanted to offer something in the spirit of celebration, and it seems like maybe the open mic is wrapping up, so maybe this is a good place. I want to share with y'all and try and sing with y'all, if you're willing, a freedom song. So maybe if y'all want to come a little closer so we can hear each other and be really strong in our voices together, I think that will help. Many freedom songs are very old. This one is quite new. It was written just a few months ago by a sister from my chosen family for the All of Us North Carolina campaign. They're fighting against this discrimination amendment that would prohibit queer families from being families. So the lyrics, I will tell them to you, and then maybe we can sing. I'll sing a line and you can sing it back to me, and then we'll all sing it together, if that works. So the lyrics go, we do it for the ancestors, all of us. We do it for the ones to come, all of us. Marching across the Carolinas, from the mountains to the sea, till we all get free. So those are the words. So I'll sing one line and you sing it back to me, yeah? Okay, it goes. We do it for the ancestors, all of us. We do it for the ancestors, all of us. We do it for the ones to come, all of us. We do it for the ones to come, all of us. Marching across the Carolinas, from the mountains to the seas. Marching across the Carolinas, from the mountains to the seas, till we all get free, till we all get free. Can we do it all together? Yeah. We do it for the ancestors, all of us. We do it for the ones to come, all of us. Marching across the Carolinas, from the mountains to the seas, till we all get free. Woo! Occupy everything.